Good evening, and thank you for joining us here for News 40 at 5. I'm Michael Ridgway, joined by Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, we're in that season now where we literally have like a 20 to 30 degree swing from morning time to afternoon.
It kind of feels that way.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's a little bit warm right now, but this morning it felt great.
Oh, it feels great in the morning and late at night. And the reason for that big swing in temperature is because the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer. And so that's naturally going to happen.
Right.
And so today was an exceptional day for sure. Look at live radar. Nothing showing but a little bit of ground clutter down near the Nashville Doppler radar site. Temperatures, wow, this is nice. Mid to upper 70s to around 80 in Bowling Green with a light north wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, we're going to find another beautiful evening on tap. Mainly clear skies, partly cloudy at times and cool. Overnight lows in the low 50s. Some of you may get cooler than that. We'll have the latest on the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Michael?
Well, to our top story, a southeastern Kentucky family continues to grieve the loss of their 2-year-old child after the child was shot in the head by another toddler. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says a 3-year-old also in the home got a hold of a gun after climbing on top of a kitchen counter and locating the gun on top of a refrigerator. Local officials say this terrible incident is a reminder to all parents to keep guns and other weapons out of reach and locked away. A child as young as 2 or 3 has enough curiosity and strength to pick up a gun and pull the trigger.
They're very curious little humans, and they want to explore and they want to find things. And so I think just putting a gun in a safe location, out of reach from a toddler, out of reach from a child. And again, just to reemphasize, practicing that gun safety, talking, having the conversations so that there's no question. If a child does see a gun, they know what it is and they know what not to do.
Hargett says it's not enough to put the gun out of reach. He says to lock the gun in a safe, secure place away from all children.
It's a good reminder for all of us to store our guns safely, securely in our homes, in our vehicles, wherever they are, and to also practice gun safety with children. If you have a gun, if you own a gun, I think it's never too early to start talking about gun safety. And the main practice is just to limit their accessibility to the gun.
Keeping firearms in a place where they cannot be seen or accessed without a key or code, like a gun safe, is always a recommended location. Well, we continue our coverage of the United Auto Workers Union as they prepare for a potential strike. The looming strike overshadows the North American International Auto Show today in Detroit. The current contract with Detroit's 3 automakers expires later tonight.
From the new GMC Acadia to Ford's new F-150, Detroit's big 3 automakers showed off their newest models as the annual North American International Auto Show gets underway. But looming over the event is a possible strike by the United Auto Workers, threatening to bring production to a halt. The union's contract with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis expires late Thursday, something car makers didn't want to talk about.
How concerned are you that a strike could slam the brakes on that progress?
Well, we're not really going to talk about the strike today. Obviously, we've got a great team working to try and get an amicable solution.
Ford CEO said Tuesday night the company made its most generous offer to the UAW in 80 years, including pay increases, but he ruled out a 32-hour work week.
Still optimistic that we'll get a deal, but there is a limit.
The union went into negotiations also seeking a 40% raise and reversing concessions made during the Great Recession. The head of the UAW says the companies need to get serious.
The CEOs gave themselves a 40% pay increase over the last 4 years. Our members deserve a hell of a lot better than where they are.
The United Auto Workers Union is leaning towards a targeted strike strategy where they would hit select plants that make key components to some of the automakers' most profitable vehicles.
There'll be factories like a pickup truck plant, there are several of them that are hugely profitable and start to hit the bottom line for the companies.
The negotiations come as the automakers posted a combined $164 billion in profits over the past decade.
More local news, the Veterans Appreciation Cookout turned out to be more than just a barbecue. The clinic honored many veterans and their families for their service and countless sacrifices made for the people of this country. It brought the community together while taking the time to display appreciation for the ones who are still with us and the ones we lost too soon.
It's a matter of we earned it. All of our veterans earned everything that we get and receive, and we're very appreciative of that. Just for all the POWs and MIAs who can't be with us, they're not forgotten.
There are many ways for you to support veterans. For more details, you can visit our website at WNKY.com. And today, the Kentucky Department of Education celebrated its 2024 Teachers of the Year. 2024 Teacher of the Year in the Commonwealth of Kentucky is Kevin Daly, a middle school teacher from Boone County. The elementary school winner was Donnie Wilkerson of Russell County. And the high school Teacher of the Year was Kumar Rashad, who teaches math and history at Breckenridge Metropolitan High School in Louisville. The majority of his students at Breckenridge are at-risk youth. Rashad says he hopes he can continue to serve as a role model for the kids he teaches every day.
With a population like mine, we're just not teaching them just to go on to that next level. We're teaching them in order to be able to stay alive the next day, in order to be productive citizens the next day. So it's really important because we're doing a lot of life-saving in our classes.
Rashad said he's grateful for his family, especially his wife and mother, who drove down from Cleveland to see him receive his honors. And still to come on News 40 at 5, as new variants of COVID-19 spread across the U.S., there is no need to fret as an updated vaccine enters the fray. We'll have more when we come back. But first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is in here with a full look at your forecast.
WNKY News 40, broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green.
Feels good to be home.
Ashley's Fall Home Sale is going on now. For a limited time, get your home fall ready with up to $1,000 off customer favorites that are in stock and ready for delivery. Or get 0% interest until 2028. Shop your local Ashley today.
Andy Bashir is lying about sex change surgery for kids.
Those procedures don't happen here in Kentucky.
That's not true. Bashir knows it, and medical records prove it.
LGBTQ advocates and the governor said these surgeries weren't happening. A newly discovered letter from UK Healthcare conflicts with that claim.
If Andy Bashir will lie about sex change surgery for kids,
those procedures don't happen here in Kentucky.
What else is he lying about?
You see the worst of the worst in this job, but I do it to bring justice for victims and help them move on with their lives. When a woman or girl becomes pregnant from rape, the trauma is unimaginable. Daniel Cameron thinks a 9-year-old rape survivor should be forced to give birth. Nobody, no child, should ever have to go through that. Cameron believes rapists deserve more rights than their victims. That's extreme, and it's dangerous.
Just rockin' and rollin', baby.
Come back tomorrow.
We got you all fixed up. Got it all fixed up for you, man. Let there be light, ma'am.
Looks like she finally called JB.
Feels good to be home.
Right now at your local Ashley, get a king mattress for the price of a queen. Or get 0% interest until 2028 on top mattress brands. Plus bed gear, pillows, and mattress protectors are buy one, get one half off. Only at Ashley.
Welcome into your full weather forecast with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, as I said at the beginning of the show, we're in that season where there's a big kind of swing in the middle of the day as far as the temperatures are concerned. Feels great, early in the morning, late at night, not so much, during daylight hours. So I'm really ready for fall. I'm not sure about you, but I can't wait for it to get cooler.
This weather, I could just stay out all day, not break a sweat, not have to worry about catching my breath and all of that. It's just easygoing weather, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a while. I'll look at the 4-hour cloud and radar loop just to show you that there's just not much of anything going on. We've had a few puffy high clouds that have streamed by the area today. You can see some of those still out there at this hour. We see some clouds kind of approaching from the north, but otherwise these are all fair weather clouds. This is nothing to be concerned about. There are no major fronts or anything coming in anytime soon that is going to change up this beautiful weather pattern that we're in right now. 81, that'll end up being our high temperature for the day. 3 degrees below the average of 84. 64 was our low, but expect that number to be much lower tonight and early tomorrow morning. Right now at the airport, it is 80 with a wind out of the north and northwest at 6 miles per hour. Humidity is only at 30% as that dew point has dropped to 46. That's pretty incredible. I mean, that's the kind of numbers you don't see until later on into October. Now, we do expect a lot of this to continue as high pressure is up over the Great Lakes. We're seeing just a few of those clouds passing by, but nothing that's going to produce any kind of shower activity. Here comes the colder air. I can say colder because it is comparatively so, much colder than it's been in the last several weeks. So here it comes. This evening, overnight tonight, look at that. All that blue indicating some 40s and 50s. We'll be more into the 50s overnight tonight. Tomorrow will be just as nice. Here we go about 6:30 tomorrow evening with the winds then shifting from the north and east, but hardly any clouds in the sky. Friday morning, even then, we're talking about some very nice weather here in southern Kentucky. Lee has become a concern again as it's right now a Category 2 hurricane, winds at 105 miles per hour out in the Atlantic, but the concern is here that it's going to have an impact and maybe a major impact on the northeastern or in the New England states, specifically Maine down to Boston, Mass. That is where big waves, high surf, some gusty winds and very heavy rain could cover the New England states into Nova Scotia, and that's something they just don't normally deal with. And so over the coming days, that is going to be a big concern for those folks off to the north in New England. So Lee is still a major hurricane, or at least a big hurricane, not a Category 3, but a Category 2, but it could go higher before it makes landfall. 79 tomorrow, will go down to 50 or close to 50 tonight and the next few nights. Slight chance of showers Saturday and Sunday, but then after that, not much of a change at all in the temperatures. We're still going to be in the upper 70s to the low 80s. And here's what's coming up tonight on NBC4.
Daniel Cameron says it's
one of the first things I will do as governor.
Bringing back former Governor Matt Bevin's ruthless Medicaid plan, threatening to take away coverage from over 95,000 Kentuckians, punishing working parents, putting rural hospitals in danger of shutting down.
This sounds very similar to something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Denying people coverage, devastating rural health care.
Something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Cameron's absolutely wrong for Kentucky.
Do you have settled or uneven concrete? USS is here to help. Changing weather conditions and poor drainage causes the soil under your concrete to shift and erode, and your concrete to settle. USS uses Polylift to raise sunken concrete in sidewalks, pool decks, porches, and more. Polylift is less expensive than full replacement, and you can walk on your concrete within minutes of repair. Visit uss-ky.com for a free estimate.
We'll guarantee our best. Call USS.
Everyone loves more of a good thing.
And more.
And Miss Moore was no different. As her name suggested, she loved more.
More?
More.
So when Miss Moore was injured, she called Morgan & Morgan. With more lawyers, more offices, and more than $15 billion recovered, she didn't have to ask for more anymore. When you're injured, you deserve more.
One more?
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
WNKY News 40 is always on. Visit WNKY.com for your latest in local news, sports, and weather.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you've suffered a personal injury, I can help. Call our office today for a free consultation.
At Infinity Pipeline, your family is our family. Our employees are the foundation of what we do. And what matters to you matters to us. We're now hiring the next generation of skilled workers to help grow our community. Apply now. InfinityPipeInc.com.
Welcome into health news. Well, there's good news for those of you that are waiting for that new COVID booster. The CDC says the updated vaccine will be available this week, and the agency has already recommended the updated shots for everyone ages 6 months and older, which means they'll be covered by public and private insurance plans. Here's what you need to know about that new shot.
Across the U.S., COVID-19 continues to spread, and now there's a new weapon to help fight it, an updated vaccine.
Part of the reason, they wanted to get this out there is because while the numbers are still low, thankfully, they are going to go up. They always go up as the weather gets cooler and drier.
COVID hospitalizations rose about 9% compared to the week prior, but are lower than last winter's peak. Still, there's no clear picture of how many cases are out there since fewer people are testing. But officials are seeing the virus in wastewater.
It's gone up significantly, so that's usually sort of a early warning system, if you will, in terms of how much COVID is out there.
To help lower the risk of severe illness, hospitalization, or death, the CDC is now urging everyone 6 months and older who hasn't gotten a COVID-19 vaccine in the last 2 months to get the updated vaccine. CDC advisors say those ages 5 and older should get at least 1 dose. Children 6 months to 4 years who may be getting their first COVID vaccine should get 2 doses of Moderna or 3 doses of Pfizer, with at least 1 being an updated shot. The CDC says those who are immunocompromised should be up to date with at least 3 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine, with at least 1 dose being the updated vaccine. The new shot is updated to fend off the currently circulating viruses that cause COVID-19 by teaching the immune system to recognize spike proteins of the XBB 1.5 viruses now circulating.
The new shots contain a single strain of the virus, unlike last year's shots, which contained 2 strains. Those older shots are no longer authorized for use in the U.S. And the COVID vaccine isn't the only thing getting an update this fall. Moderna says its experimental flu vaccine has a stronger immune response than what's currently on the market. The drug maker says its shot shows increased immunity against 4 strains of the flu virus. The company is now moving towards what it hopes will be approval from federal regulators. Moderna says it's already testing the technology in other respiratory virus vaccines, including RSV and COVID. And cancer experts say they want to see more action to end an ongoing drug shortage. The American Association for Cancer Research released its annual cancer progress report today. The report underscores the issue of an ongoing shortage of chemotherapy medications and growing concern about the future of funding for cancer research. Despite those challenges, the report highlights a 33% reduction in the rate of cancer fatalities over the last 3 decades. And coming up on News 40 at 5, some of the world's top tech minds met at the U.S. Senate today in Washington to address rising concerns over AI and its role in the world as we move forward. The latest when we return.
It's not just the music. Girl, I'm gonna get by. It's the stories behind the music.
I started off writing music for my own catharsis.
I do write a lot of trying to get in other people's head.
Meet some new artists you'll be humming with for years to come. Just to make it back home to you. Lately I've been Marquee Backstage, Sundays at 11.
The Contractors Licensing Board wants you to know if you're planning on building or remodeling, always hire a licensed contractor. Get all estimates, obtain a building permit, include a payment schedule and a completion date in your contract, and never release final payment until the project is completed. By hiring a licensed contractor, you're ensuring the contractor has proper liability insurance, protecting you in the event of any property damage. For more info or to find a licensed contractor in your area, call the Contractors Licensing Board today.
Dog Stay Out is South Central Kentucky's 5-paw rated dog resort. Whether for the day or a whole vacation, Dog Stay Out will keep your pets safe and loved. Dog Stay Out offers boarding, daycare, agility courses, positive reinforcement training, grooming, and more. With multiple packages to choose from, pamper your pup any way you see fit. Find out more at WNKY.com. Your dog's home away from home. Dogs stay out.
We're all born with the good in us. We're all in need of love. Dreams get torn, but we stand up, making a change that is calling us. Beautiful world, beautiful people, boys and girls, we're all made equal. So clap your hands, get up and dance. Beautiful world, beautiful people.
Connect with WNKY News 40 on social media. Follow us at WNKY TV.
Well, fall is almost here, and when it comes to air travel prices, they are falling fast. Travel experts say now is the time to book, especially international flights.
Airfare is falling this fall, and travel experts say now is a great time to book air travel, especially if you're looking to travel abroad this autumn and beyond.
Flight prices over to Europe are actually about to come down in a pretty significant way here as we get into the fall and into 2024.
According to travel app Hopper, autumn fares are 9% less expensive than last year and 10% cheaper than in 2019. Ticket prices for September and October are 29% cheaper than the average prices for peak domestic summer travel. And international ticket prices to some destinations have come down by a similar amount. Travel expert Scott Kai says lower prices are driving up demand among people looking to visit popular international destinations in Europe and South America.
Number of Americans traveling down to Mexico, 20% higher than it was in 2019. The number of Americans flying over to Europe, 15% higher than it was in 2019.
So, how to find a great airfare deal this fall? Kai's has these 3 tips. 1. Use a price monitoring tool to get real-time updates and get notified when prices are at the lowest for your trip. 2. Consider flying during the middle of the week instead of on the weekends. That increases your chances of finding a cheaper flight. And 3. For overseas travel, consider flying over Thanksgiving. Kai says it's the hidden best week for international travel.
Especially if you've got the week off work, if the kids have the week off school, and if you're interested in those Christmas markets.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
If you feel like there's no relief on rising prices, well, you're right. Economists say that August inflation numbers came in higher than expected as consumers face higher prices on energy, food, and other items. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, surge in gasoline prices was a big contributor. Food prices also rose and airfares rose slightly, but are still down 13% from a year ago. And there's nothing slowing down the future of AI, but our nation's senators want to be prepared. Today, the Senate is holding the first AI Insight Forum to meet with tech leaders as Congress works to pass legislation to regulate AI. NBC's Alice Barr has the details.
From Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Sam Altman of ChatGPT, the biggest names in tech gathering on Capitol Hill today for a debate on one of the biggest tools and trials of our times, the growing role of artificial intelligence.
The consequences of AI going wrong are severe. So we have to be proactive rather than reactive.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Republican Mike Rounds leading the first in a series of AI Insight Forums about how Congress can regulate the fast-moving industry.
Putting guardrails in place to deal with issues like bias and worker education and jobs.
AI is not going away. It's going to be here for a long, long time.
Since ChatGPT burst onto the scene late last year, demonstrating AI's ability to closely mimic human conversation, the world of artificial intelligence has raised powerful possibilities and existential angst. Dr. Alex Alonso studies the impact of AI on the workforce.
Do you think people are justified in thinking that their jobs are at risk from AI?
I think people are certainly justified in the ability that AI has to economize, to make things more efficient, and to automate specific processes. It certainly has an impact. Workers should do their best to actually develop the skills so they don't find themselves in that position.
Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren and Republican Lindsey Graham are pushing legislation to create a new tech regulating federal agency.
These giants aren't just big. They are big and they kill competition.
and that means they kill innovation.
Rare bipartisan agreement about the need for AI guardrails as leaders eye the potential impacts on everything from spreading disinformation to national security. From Capitol Hill, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, Republican U.S. Senator Mitt Romney says he will not seek re-election. The 2012 Republican presidential nominee made the announcement in a video posted to social media today. In the video, he highlights the rising national debt and the climate crisis as critical issues and says neither Biden or Trump are, quote, leading their party to confront those issues. Romney also encouraged future generations to get into politics.
I've spent my last 25 years in public service of one kind or another. At the end of another term, I'd be in my mid-80s. Frankly, it's time for a new generation of leaders. They're the ones that need to make the decisions that will shape the world they will be living in.
The 76-year-old Romney served in the Senate since 2019. His current term expires January 2025. Well, stay tuned because we'll have a final look at your forecast when we get back.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
This is my dad, Audie, and he is absolutely precious.
When it came to making some life-changing decisions for my mother, we found the folks here at Massey Springs to be so helpful.
They had that personal touch that we were looking for, and we could tell it was the perfect place for our mom.
We found the folks here at Massey Springs compassionate and caring.
Massey Springs was definitely the right choice for me and my dad.
Massey Springs Senior Living. Here, we're family. Schedule your tour with us today.
Listen to the WNKY News 40 weather drive time forecast. Weekdays on All Hit Woohoo 107.
Whoa! Big news! DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. New customers, download the app now to get $200 in bonus bets when we go live. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan.
Okay, so how much do you know about the Brady Bunch, Chris? You remember it fondly?
Fondly, very fondly. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
Well, believe it or not, this groovy piece of real estate sold for below asking price. The home, famous for its exterior, featured on the Brady Bunch. It recently sold for $3.2 million, nearly 42% below asking. That's not even how much HGTV paid for the property in 2018 before investing thousands for a complete remodel. According to Zillow, the home was meticulously rebuilt and designed to replicate the set of the 1970s sitcom. The listing says it's believed to be the second most photographed home in the U.S. behind the White House.
Yeah, and the thing is before HGTV got a hold of it, it was just the exterior that was used in the Brady Bunch television show. Mm-hmm. But then when HGTV bought it and had the cast of the Brady Bunch come in and actually renovate it, they made the inside look like the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the two did not match until 2018.
Okay. Interesting.
So now it matches, but the lady who's now the investor says it's a bad investment. It was a bust.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Because she says nobody knows who the Brady Bunch is.
Right.
How could you not know who the Brady Bunch is? I mean, come on.
Times are changing, Chris.
No. No, we can't have that.
Right,
We
right.
can't have that.
Well, speaking of changes, the weather, it's not really changing a lot.
It's changing for the better tonight, dropping down into the 50s. Enjoy the night.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, thank you guys so much.